Wolf pack, what is going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street, rotostreetjournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves here with Baked Best Ball number 2. Can't wait to dive in. Had an absolute blast last time with my man, The Truth. And we got a huge day today because this was the legal tampering period of NFL free agency, which has pretty much become like the opening day of free agency. I know they're technically not signed, but all the big news happens today, and we already have Ken Walker to the Chiefs, Mike Evans to the Niners, tons and tons of other huge news and notes as well. Obviously, this show is a little bit more free-flowing. I don't have my rankings completely updated. I haven't done a bunch of projections or anything of that, but we are going to talk the general sense of who won, who lost. That also will include guys like Bashal Tutin with Travis Etienne gone, not just the free agents in their new homes. We'll talk about that as we are drafting live and looking at how is this impacting the draft values. I will say, too, when you draft on this, I'm just going to enter the draft right now, too, to get us going. When you draft like in the sense, like the midst of the free agency, the prices are always a bit wonky. Like people are just going to be going nuts. I bet Ken Walker is going to be shooting up towards round 1, and maybe he deserves to be. So I won't say this will be a complete accurate representation of what these prices will end up being by any means, but you can get a sense of like just what the knee-jerk reactions are in the fantasy market. So again, we will be drafting. Feel free to join and let us know in the comments if you join. Let us know if you have any questions or comments or any players you think we miss going over. But yeah, Truth, good to see you as we wait. We got about 5 people still to join here. How we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I kind of feel like, I had a great time last week. I wonder if it's just pointless this week, though, because I feel like we already drafted the winning team last week. So
we can still get second place.
Be throwing like good money. Right, we could still get 10K or something.
We'll just take down like the top 3 spots ourselves, you know.
I'm looking forward to this. I did randomly post this on Spotify podcast, and there's a video version of it. The one last week, there will be this week. We're definitely one of the best looking podcast teams that there's out there.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing ourselves any favors just staying on audio. So it's good that we're putting this out there for the public. If any of you are interested, which I know you are, check us out. It was pretty well received last week. We're looking forward to doing it again. If we got time at the end, we might talk some Oscar picks. I have watched like at least 50% of the Oscar nominated movies, which I'm pretty excited about. But like the Wolf said, primarily still a football podcast. And we do have a couple of things to attend to. We've had some big moves and stuff like that. What was the one that jumped out at you the most where you're like, this is a big value hole that just got filled?
Yeah, let's just dive straight in and out. You know what? I don't want to share my screen because we're going to have a draft going in a sec. I want to have to go back and forth. But I do have at Roto Street Wolf, I always tweet out the ups and downs, the rockets, the double ups. And I'll just kind of go through the list and explain it. And right at the top of the list is Ken Walker with the rocket emoji going to the Chiefs. And I know Mahomes might miss the first couple games of the year, but once he is back, and maybe it is more of dynasty in year 2, but even not, if not, Ken Walker's an absolute animal. I think he's one of the most talented backs in the league. There still is the injury concerns. We cannot just ignore those, but stayed healthy largely in a timeshare. I know it's going to be the counter. Oh, well, yeah, he stayed healthy because he didn't have the full back. He can't handle the full back. Okay, whatever your argument wants to be, you can argue both sides, but I think just eyeball test-wise, metrics-wise, whether it's missed tackles forced or explosive run rate, Ken Walker is one of the best backs in the league. It's just a matter of can he stay healthy, and that is obviously a big risk. Shall he stay healthy, though? I tweeted out, I think he belongs in round 1, and I know that might seem hyperbolic, and I'm intrigued to see kind of where he goes tonight. I'm going to just share this tab.
Just FYI, first of all, massive value hole that he's filling. Second of all, you can't ignore the injuries, but you also can't ignore the talent on the field. And is there recency bias because of what we just saw in the playoffs and the Super Bowl? Of course, but that also really happened. So we can't really just ignore that. I will say, this is interesting. We're picking 11th here, which is the same thing we picked last time we went. So I'm really interested to see because there were a couple picks that we really liked on that turn a couple times. I wonder how things are going to be shaken up and how many of those are going to be available to us this time around. You remember the 4th and 8th round picks that we were just eggplanting over?
Oh yeah, Devontae Adams and Chris Godwin. Yes.
Right. How about Godwin now though?
And definitely a stock up. So that's probably the second winner I wanted to talk about. In general, Mike Evans to the 49ers won. He's a huge winner. Kyle Shanahan, obviously among the best, if not the best single schemer. Juwan Jennings, I think he only played 12 games last year, and he still scored 9 touchdowns And Mike Evans is better by a mile. I like Juwan Jennings, don't get me wrong, but Mike Evans is a whole different. We're talking about a Hall of Famer. Now going to pair up with Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy. If Juwan Jennings can score 9 touchdowns in 12 games, Mike Evans might go for 15 again. So he's a huge winner to me. We got him on last week's team as well.
No, I'm saying we could have just double whammied that one, and whammy is a good thing, not a bad thing in this instance. I like the Evans move. I could see that going either way, or I could see it being a lateral fantasy move. I don't know. Purdy is not as good as Baker Mayfield, I think, as a fantasy quarterback.
Really?
I don't know. I like the move. I think Godwin is more exciting.
Yeah, well, and so what he leaves behind, and we are about to pick here at 11.
We
I'm going to go
started with Etienne last time. He went 9th here. So what are we thinking?
I'm thinking James Cook. He typically goes 9th overall, 10.4 ADP rather. Great running back. How can you have anything against James Cook?
What if we went James Cook and picked up Kenneth Walker on the turn?
We could. So I was going to say, I want to go running back.
Yeah, I mean, we built a stable last time. Yeah,
so the guys to consider here, Ashton Genty, we got O'Marion Hampton last week.
We did.
Jeremiah Love, fresh off running a 4.36 at almost 220. Calling him a bigger Jahmyr Gibbs is what the comp has been by people, which is just insane. Or like you said, do we go Ken Walker? We could. You could certainly justify. I just said I think he's worth a first rounder. I wonder in the ranks, will I bump him ahead of Genty and O'Marion Hampton? I might. What do you want to do? I'll say I'd limit it down.
I would say, and I don't want to be overreactionary here, I like him more than Genty. Hampton, not necessarily, but we did pick up Hampton last time, so I would probably go Walker. I would probably overreact.
Over Genty?
I would.
All righty. I'll take Walker right here with that pick. Now, I will mention, and Genty was going to be on this list, so it's a natural conversation point here. I think he is a big winner. They get Tyler Linderbaum, the just jewel of the lineman class, the center there from the Ravens, gave him an absolute bag, and he deserves it. He is unbelievable, one of the best blockers, both run and pass. So huge for this game. And you also do have Clint Kubiak as the new offensive coordinator there. And I tweeted this out that the Seahawks line last year entering the preseason ranked, I believe, 30th by PFF. It was certainly bottom 5. By the end of the year, they ended up finishing in the top 10, and obviously they ended up winning the Super Bowl. And that's with the same exact talent they were all expecting. Their first round, Gray Zabel, I believe his name is, he did outperform expectation. There's no doubt about that. But still, that's kind of what the Kubiak zone blocking scheme. We've been talking about this since freaking Steve Slayton. Like, we've been talking about the Kubiak zone scheme because his dad for so long was making just fantasy monsters. Terrell Davis, you can go back to the Mike Shanahan, Gary Kubiak pairing. And
I remember it.
Even with a bad on paper line, even if PFF ranks you 30th preseason, we saw just the way that this, like, if you can execute this scheme, it elevates poor play. And then you add the best center in free agency. There's a stat truth, and I know this is supposed to be like more vibes based and we're baked. So, I mean, that helps, but I couldn't get the stat out of my head where it was Jacob Gibbs, phenomenal follow out there. Ashton Genty, who we didn't pick, so I'm waxing poetic on the guy that we passed up. But
I feel bad that I pressured you into Walker now. You seem so high on this guy. No,
I am, but I'm also, we can pivot right back to why I'm so high on Walker now as a member of the Chiefs. But the stat on him, and this is the reason I'm bringing this all up to see, like, now that you know this context, when you have 20 seconds to pick, we can't go through all this, is when Ashton Genty had at least 1 yard before he was contacted. I believe his metrics either were like exactly the same or maybe even slightly better than Bijan Robinson in terms of like yards per carry, explosive run rate, like those type of metrics. Jacob Gibbs found that stat. Somehow you can calculate these things about when somebody's contacted at the line versus 1 yard downfield. And if he got at least 1 yard of running room, he was as good as Bijan Robinson. And if you saw him play against like the Texans that game, when he got in space, he was as good as anybody in the NFL. So I do love Genty. I like everything that's happened in free agency so far for him as well. And even with all that said, like Ken Walker on the Chiefs, I had no issue. If I truly felt that much strongly about Genty, I would have gone him. I wouldn't have just been like, oh yeah, your truth told me Ken Walker, I got to do it. So a lot of that saying we're almost up to our pick. Does that make you feel any differently? Like you would have gone Genty over Walker?
No, I would have still gone Walker, honestly.
Okay.
I really, really, really like the fit. I really, really like Walker. Are the Chiefs done? I mean, I have a hard time believing that. I think it could be huge. It could be a boom or bust thing, but man, the boom would be huge.
It really sure could be. And it's not like Walker can't catch. We're going to be up here. So some key names, Breece Hall, who I don't love. Kyron already went. This is where we could get Devontae Adams again. Luther Burden.
We got Devontae in the 4th round last time.
T. Higgins is there. It's a lot of receivers, truth.
Should we shoot for like Higgins, Adams? I mean,
I like that. And then we could aim for, ideally, Burrow comes back to us in like round 5, 6. Stack that up. I like T. Higgins there. The other one, so I took Higgins, but I do want to shout out Devonta Smith because he's getting a ton of hype, and I largely believe it because, one, A.J. Brown likely to be traded, still hasn't. They're saying, though, like they almost envision him as like a JSN type. Like if you give him JSN volume, he would do what JSN did. And I buy it. I love Devonta Smith. Maybe not quite as much as JSN, of course, but he gives me that vibe of like the 4th round receiver that has a JSN type of breakout. So I get those vibes from Devonta.
Devonta Smith just got taken, but let's take Devonta.
Who just got taken?
Let's take Adams.
So yeah, I think we keep running it with Adams. I just can't get over that value. Maybe it's going to slap me in the face. The only other guy
we could get slapped in the face by it, but I like it. I feel like if he's available now, if Smith had been available, I might have considered mixing it up and taking Smith there. But I really do like the Cook, Walker, Higgins, Adams start to the team.
Absolutely, yeah. You rock solid at the multi-starter positions. Higgins obviously has week winning upside. The only other receivers, so the receivers that were there. Luther Burden. So this gives us an opportunity to talk. This wasn't necessarily free agency, but since the last time we drafted, DJ Moore did get traded to the Bills, which he's got to be rocket emoji. And then that also rockets up, Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, who has some crazy stats about how when he was on the field, accounted for like 37% of the target. He was a ball hog when he was out there, and his yards per route run were like better than, Justin Jefferson and some of the top rookie play we've seen in a very, very long time. So I do like him a lot now. But I still can't get over Adams. And like we said last time, what's the argument against him? Maybe age, maybe touchdowns are volatile, but not when you have the same exact quarterback, not when you're Devontae Adams. It's like the people that keep going against Derrick Henry. I guess, there's going to be a year where you're too late to jumping off the train.
Don't you think this is a little different though? Like, I mean, Adams is a great receiver, but like, wouldn't you say his specialty is like the 1 or 2 yard touchdown?
It's like a goal line running back.
Right. And it's like, I feel like the shelf life on that is better, especially when you have like an extremely competent quarterback. I just feel like you can go to that all the time if you want to. So I'm not really scared of that, man. And I mean, he's playing across from maybe the best receiver in the NFL. Like
he's certainly in the conversation.
Yeah.
Would be the first one I take in fantasy at least. I still love Devontae Adams, still packing the bags as much as I can. None of those other guys compel me nearly as much. I think Burden's the only one. Burden, Smith, Higgins, Devontae Adams, those are the guys I really love in that range. And I know last time we did 3 running backs, but I do love plucking 2 of the, like, there's a ton of upside to that pocket of like true top 10 wide receiver upside.
I like building the stable, but man, that's not a bad receiving core to start with. What do you think about Jaden Daniels being the 3rd quarterback off the board here?
I think it's a little rich. And
I think that's too high, man.
Probably – does that team I'm looking at our queue right now, so I'm not looking. But does that guy have Terry McLaurin? Did he take him in round 4?
He did. He took them at the turn.
So that might be what it is, trying to stack it up. But that's a little rich still. A lot of times Daniels will make it back there in the next round. So I'd rather play it through that. And if he doesn't fall, he doesn't fall.
That seems too much to be. Yeah.
All righty. By the way, it is almost back at us. I was hopeful Cam Scatterbo.
I was hoping Scatterbo would be there too.
He's a big winner because apparently they were in on Ken Walker. That's driven his price down. They still say they might be interested in Jeremiah Love. That would crush Scatterbo. But if he avoids both of those roadblocks, he's going to rocket up the board and deserves to be a mid-third, in my opinion. He was a monster. And I think this offense will be even better. So let's I do think Harvey's a winner because they did add J.K. Dobbins, but it could have been a lot worse. So let's go Evans. You want to go Evans?
Yeah, let's go Evans.
Let's go Evans Burrow. We'll go Evans Burrow.
Oh, I love that.
Evans just is so exciting
The
right now.
receiving core really shaping up here.
Yeah, Higgins, Adams, Evans. I know it's an old man core. Call us boomers, but whatever. Like, I mean, those guys are monsters.
Yeah.
Does the substation, the injury thing with the 49ers, does that worry you at all for Mike Evans and his hamstring?
Not overly. Maybe it should. I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, I never worried about Evans at all until I owned him in fantasy last year, and then he destroyed me. But I mean, I have to assume he'll be okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's crazy. I'm not overly scared about drafting him.
I don't, and nor should you be, I don't think. For the record. I just think if he can last, like I said, Juwan Jennings played 12 games last year, scored 9 touchdowns. You could realistically chalk up 12 touchdowns in 12 games for Evans. You said like Brock Purdy's not as exciting as Baker, maybe. I mean, Baker in that year with Liam Cohen, and I think I still love Baker. This is not meant to be a slight on him. But I do think Liam Cohen is an absolute genius. You saw what Trevor Lawrence did last year. And so I think I'd rather have Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan than Baker, and I think it's Zach Robinson now. It is Zach Robinson, who's not a bad play caller coming over from the Falcons, but not – I have much more faith in Kyle Shanahan. I'm far more intrigued to see what he does with Mike Evans.
I have more faith in Kyle Shanahan, and I mean, look, you throw McCaffrey in there. I mean, that improves fantasy numbers for a quarterback. Obviously, a great receiving back. Although I really like Bucky as well. It's possibly more that I just consider Baker a more exciting player in general. I like watching him. I get more excited watching him on TV than I do about Brock Purdy, who I don't think is particularly exciting. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with the Shanahan logic.
Yeah. It's Kyle Shanahan is what it boils down to me. This round does give us a couple opportunities to talk about the featured topic. Again, free agency winners and losers, because we do see both Jaylen Warren and Bashaw Tutin, who are the classic. Obviously, they weren't free agents, but they did have 2 major thorns in Travis Etienne, now removed for the Jags, and given Bashaw Tutin a huge rocket up, in my opinion. And then Jaylen Warren has Kenny Gainwell removed. And I do think both these backfields will continue to make moves. There's a lot of Rachaad White to the Jags buzz. But either way, they dodged Ken Walker. Travis Etienne was the other landmine. He goes to the Saints. We could talk about that fallout too. Ultimately, I feel like Bashaw Tutin is a definite riser, and Jaylen Warren as well, because I can't see who can get added at this point unless somehow Jeremiah Love, he's not going to fall into either of their laps. Like, they don't have a first-round pick to the Jags, and the Steelers draft way too late. So there's nobody that can truly destroy them at this point. Rachaad White would be an annoying ad. Sean Tucker would be an annoying ad. And yet these guys still have that lead back upside. So those are 2 huge winners to me, Jaylen Warren and Bashaw Tutin. Do you have any knee-jerk reactions to either of those guys?
No, I mean, I agree with you. Who else are they going to add to the mix? So, I mean, to me, like, I think both of those guys' stock is – I was going to say it at least held steady, but I'd say it bumped them both up significantly. I agree.
Yeah. So those were 2 huge winners. To wrap up the Mike Evans conversation too, just obviously similar to those running backs we're talking about, a lot of targets vacated, maybe not last year because he was hurt, but Emeka Egbuka, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, Cade Otton was brought back by the team as well. But when you remove a mouth like Mike Evans, that obviously opens up a ton of opportunity. Chris Godwin, of course, a favorite of ours, didn't look fully healthy last year, but 2 years now removed, has all the upside in the world. So huge fan there. It is going to be our pick. I don't love like Fannon's at the top of the queue. Don't love it. Tucker Kraft I like more. I love still Trevor Lawrence in this range.
What running backs are available here? I mean,
Kyle Monunga is the top one, so because that's where it's like,
All right. Well, maybe we go tight end quarterback.
I went Trevor Lawrence just because I think his upside is way too high in this range. And then maybe we go to I like Fannin and I like Kraft. I'd be open to both, but there are great tight end values late. So here I'll share this tab too, so you can see like the best available, and then I'll come back to the draft board. So you can see like Kyle Monunga, Chuba Hubbard, nothing inspiring there. We could stack up Trevor Lawrence and Jacoby Myers, who looked really solid with the Jags last year. I do love Tucker Kraft though too. I'd be open to him.
I love Tucker Kraft. I got killed when he got injured. Man, there's like 4 guys where I was like, oh, that killed me when he got injured for the year.
Such a locker room presence guy too. Just like, he's the type of guy you want on your team for sure. Jacoby Myers stack up with Lawrence or Tucker Kraft. What do you think?
Let's do the stack, even though I really like Kraft a lot.
You want Kraft. It's okay. We don't have to be smart. We're here.
We don't have to be smart.
We don't have to be smart.
All right, that's a relief.
Everybody else is too smart. We'll get an advantage by just being dumb on these things. So I went Tucker Kraft, and I like it a lot. Huge fan of him. Now let me find the draft board and project that again. We got
people that went people, really high with tight ends. I mean, there were 2 tight ends that went in the 2nd round. For us to get Tucker Kraft in like the 8th round, I feel okay about that.
Yeah, if he had stayed healthy, and now you got Romeo Doubs likely leaving. Had he stayed healthy, he would have finished certainly ahead of Bowers, who has his own upside yet again this year. But you could certainly argue for Tucker Kraft. He's the rare unicorn where, like, and this is why I love him so much. It reminds me of Kittle in a way, that he's a monster after the catch, can streak downfield, get vertical, but then like in the blocking game, he mauls you. And that's what I love, just a complete presence. And maybe that leads to more injuries because he is so physical. We'll find out throughout his career, but he is that type of guy that is in on play action where so many splash plays happen, that is a beast after the catch, that is so good in the red zone, and probably going to be a free agency winner. We don't know where Romeo Doubs is going, but ultimately likely to leave were the reports on him. So yeah, I'm with you. I love him. One guy that did leave the Packers and is now a starting QB that we can talk about. And what I think we ended up
Willis. We got Willis last week,
and we got a BTJ question. I just saw we got Willis last week. He's a starter. He goes to Miami. Any thoughts on that? I don't love the Dolphins.
No, I don't love the Dolphins either. But I mean, I think it can only help our best ball team,
I think the key takeaway with it too is the money. You're not going to bench this guy when you give him $27 million or whatever it was a year. I think it was a 3-year, like 67 to 70 mil type of deal. You're going to give him a long rope. And so what was nice, he was our 3rd quarterback. We don't really need him, but he'll pop up for a couple 25, 30 pointers.
I'll bet he gets a start or 2 for us.
Absolutely will get a start for us. So I consider him a winner now. That's clear cut. Like, we knew he was going to probably be a starter, probably not even needing to be there. I don't love Miami. I don't like,
no, you'd be crazy if you loved Miami.
But ultimately, I know. Ultimately, I don't hate it at all. We were talking about a lot of Jags, and that was a Jags question from Mr. Bakes. We found our people truth, Mr. Bakes.
I want to ask you a question real quick, and then we can do our picks, and then we can ask Mr. Bakes, or we can answer Mr. Bakes' questions. Can we just pump the brakes for a second? Is Chris Godwin still on the board?
I think he must be, which will obviously change here.
I mean, because we're now approaching round 9,
which is phenomenal. Yes,
I mean, if he's there, we have to take him.
I agree. The only thing is. Blake Corum went. I was going to say we do need a running back bad. No, we will absolutely go Godwin should he fall to us here. And then, I mean, yes, he's there. So
we have to take him.
No, there's no doubt about that. Call me crazy. We certainly not draft another one the rest of the time, but Matthew Stafford is about 12 spots below ADP right now. And we have Devontae Adams. And now he's our quarterback 3.
Are you worried at all about the running back situation? I mean, I love what you're saying with Stafford. I am,
but it's like, so we could draft Kenny Gainwell, who went to the Bucs today. Solid role probably there. Jonah Coleman, rookie. Who knows where he ends up.
I'm not moved by any of these guys so far.
Yeah, and then you got like Jordan Mason. Like, it's all gross right now. And that's where, like, when we started 3 running backs last time, I do love that move. There just wasn't like it was Breece Hall now back with the Jets. And I feel like we go Stafford here and just, YOLO and QB.
3 quarterbacks in 5 rounds, but let's do it.
And it's half PPR too, so there's only so much distance you can gain. Like, quarterbacks are by far the most valuable. And if all 3 of those guys stayed healthy, big if, and that's why I actually don't mind drafting another one, because Burrow does have injuries. Stafford's old, but assume all 3 of these guys are healthy come week 17, where all the money is. Somebody of this group is most likely getting 30 points almost 40% of the time, we're probably getting 30 points from our quarterback if all three of these guys are healthy. And most of the time, you're getting 22 to 25, like no matter what.
I mean, that's great for best ball, obviously. Let's respond to Mr. Bakeslot. Where do you guys think that BTJ will go?
Yes, keeping Mr. Bakeslot waiting here. Maybe it's the wishful thinking. As a Pats fan, I really hope it's New England, and there's rumblings they're interested. The fit is great. They got rid of Diggs, and they need a receiver desperately. I love BTJ. I don't think he's a great fit for Liam Cohen. And I love Liam Cohen, but we saw Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers more over the middle of the field type stuff. That's how that offense thrives. BTJ gets deep, and Drake May, among the best deep passers in the league. I would go nuts as a Pats fan. I think he would be berserk. It wasn't long ago that BTJ was a first rounder in fantasy, and deservingly so, because he went on a tear as a rookie with Mac Jones as his quarterback, who also looked good last year too. So maybe Mac Jones deserves another shot. But nonetheless, BTJ went completely berserk, was a first rounder. I still think he's well worth it. I do not think this was a talent issue. I think it's just more so the fit with the offense, and I would love to have him in New England. Who else could it be potentially? I don't know. But what are your thoughts? New England is my knee-jerk reaction, Truth.
I mean, are we just playing fantasy here? Like he can go anywhere. We're not thinking about where it's like plausible that he could go or anything like that.
Well, I think you do not think New England's plausible.
No, I do think that New England's plausible. I actually do think that that's not a crazy take at all. I'm just saying, like, am I taking that into consideration where I'm talking about where he goes, or am I taking into, because like I'd love to see him go to the Chiefs. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, so I don't.
They have the 9th overall pick, so I don't think they're going to give up pick number 9 for him.
No, that might not be crazy. I mean, look, I don't know. It's hard to say. He really regressed last year, but man, he was awesome in year one. I saw a lot of really awesome stuff.
I still believe in the guy. I'm trying to think. So I'm looking at the report just to see like who was rumored to be interested. Patriots, Bills, who already traded for DJ Moore, Steelers, who traded for Michael Pittman, Raiders, potentially an option. That does make sense. Seahawks was rumored, but they just signed Rashid Shaheed. So
we're on the clock right now, Wolf.
Oh, are we?
Oh, yeah.
Shoot. All right, 13 seconds. Don't like Shakir. I don't like any of these guys. I'm going to draft Brenton Strange for now because he pairs up with Trevor Lawrence, and we need a tight end. We don't have one yet. Oh, we do have one. Draft. All right, yeah. So I that was kind of a panic pick, but whatever.
What happens when you're taking a few gummies? You panic.
Yeah, it does. You know what? We need running backs, and
we really do need running backs. We are now going into the 12th round here. We really do need some running backs.
Yeah, we don't even have our 3rd yet, so this would have been a good range to go running back. Brenton Strange was a panic pick. The edibles did take over there. I like his long. Well, I don't want to say anything because then you jinx it. But I do like somebody more than the rest of these picks. And he just went, of course, J.K. Dobbins.
You should have said it.
That's who we should have gone. I like James Conner, but Tyler Allgeier landed there. So I say we go intriguing rookie. Maybe we go Emmett Johnson.
Okay, intriguing rookie doesn't
or James Conner. He could still. Tyler Allgeier's not like
James Conner. James Conner.
You don't like James Conner?
Not really.
Well, that's who we got.
It is the 12th round. By the way, I'd just like to say, and I hope that helps a little bit, Mr. Bakes a lot. I want to say that I am not alone amongst people that are not moved by Brock Purdy, as a million quarterbacks have gone, and including Baker Mayfield 2 rounds ago, and Brock Purdy's still on the board.
No, Brock Purdy's long gone.
Where did he go?
I'll find him.
Find him. No, I see him. Never mind. All right, forget it. I take back everything I said. He went around before Baker.
Purdy's awesome.
Yeah, he's all right.
And it's again, okay, I shouldn't say Purdy himself's awesome. It's Kyle Shanahan's awesome, and Purdy runs the offense very well. So let me look up what Purdy was in points per game, because he got hurt last year, but I believe he was like quarterback 6 last year. PPR points per game, quarterback 5 last year. So there you go.
What was Baker last year? I'm really out of curiosity. I don't think he was that good, but I'm just curious.
No, Baker fell off.
Baker fell way off, but I mean, you have to take the injuries into consideration there.
He went from
he didn't have his receiving core.
he was quarterback 3 the year before, went
Right.
down to quarterback 19.
Yeah, but I mean, he lost all his weapons.
And he's never been – the only year was 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm aware that he's basically done it one time.
His quarterback 19 was his next highest finish. So,
well, remember he was like thought of as a bust for a really long time.
Of course, yeah. So I'm at worst you could convince me that like Evans and it's a wash.
I said I thought it might be just a parallel move,
but I think Purdy's an upgrade. I'm not gonna lie, I really do.
I think that Godwin is really gonna eat though.
Yeah. So in hindsight, I do regret not going Dobbins over Brenton Strange. You know, I do like stacking up Lawrence with somebody, not just having him completely naked. But at the end of the day, you know, we could have gone Dobbins and Strange would have been there. I did not realize it had come around. These 20-second clocks go very fast. I do have somebody in mind I think is our best next bet. And that Emmett Johnson guy is going to make it back around to us, it looks like, potentially. But there's somebody I'm noticing
the not jinxing didn't work, so you should jinx this time.
Okay. You want me to jinx this one? Yeah. I want to go Rachaad White is who I'm thinking here. Just because the ties to the Jags is very real. He played with Liam Cohen, had a great year under Liam Cohen, and nobody else has gone there yet. And that's a great offense to be a part of.
All right,
and
he's on the board right now
with Lawrence there. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Rachaad White.
Jinxing it worked.
And then if Emmett Johnson makes it back, great. Omar Cooper, a great, intriguing rookie receiver talent. And, you know, we already have 2 tight ends. I hate the Brenton Strange pick. I really do. He'll be the guy that wins us 100K and has like two touchdowns the week we need him, though.
They're going to be taking us to task for that, definitely.
But one of the reasons I don't like the pick is because Travis Kelce's sitting there. He signed with the Chiefs. He's back. The only reason he's going this late is because he hadn't signed yet, and people thought he might retire. He's not going to retire. And
I think grab him. Kenneth Walker is going to reignite the offense.
Because that's right, yeah. And well, Sean Tucker's a free agent who I am intrigued by as well. I'll go Kelce. We got to go Kelce.
Why not? It's the 14th round.
Yes. So we're all good at court. We're not going to take any more quarterbacks or any more running back or any more tight ends.
That's for
all
sure.
Receivers and running backs the rest of the way.
Well, we have one more pick?
No, we have it goes 20 rounds. We have.
Oh, I thought it went to where the screen goes. I was like, man, we're done here.
No.
Okay, I see. All right. Okay, let's load up on wide receiver.
I wonder if Herm J is watching us. I don't know who that is, but we talked about Emmett Johnson and Dobbins, and he plucked us on both of them.
Well, I mean, we are live broadcasting, and there's 600 people watching, and the numbers.
Very real chance one of the 12 is with us.
Right. I mean, you know. It's like we're like playing cards and we're showing you our hand.
Yeah, exactly. So I hadn't even checked if it had posted on my Twitter, but I'm assuming it's up.
I mean, if we've got this many views, it's probably. I mean, I feel like without Twitter, we wouldn't have this many.
No, we wouldn't. And I'll say before, I haven't even promoted anything yet, but if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up on YouTube or the heart button on Twitter, likes, the shares, the retweets, it really does make a world of difference, help us grow. I mean, there was over the season during the Sunday show, we were getting 5,000 to 12,000 live viewers. It was amazing.
We were pulling several thousand for the Thursday.
Yeah, I understand that this early in the offseason is a much different beast. I'm very happy to have just 600 people here. I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in and listen to us draft and talk some of these risers and fallers. Let us know if you have questions. If 600 people here, I got to imagine there's something like, what do you think of this guy's stock? What about this keeper dynasty? Let us know. And if you haven't played best ball and you're intrigued, use code RSJ or the link in the description. It really helps us out. We get a nice referral kickback, and you guys would get 75 free bucks if you play $5. So well worth it. You know, that's 7 of these drafts if you like these early preseason ones.
And we do.
Yeah, and we sure do.
So let's we're gonna load up like running back or receiver, running back, something like that at the turn here. After we make our picks at the turn, I want you to tell me what your favorite Oscar movie was.
Okay, I will.
As we go into the 17, 18, 19, 20 rounds, that's when we can chat a little bit.
We can start chatting about that. I'll do just one more wrap up on the rest of free agency, as well, just because I know that was the title of the show. There's 600 people here. They might want to hear my Oscar takes. They probably want the fantasy takes a little more. So we talked about Malik Willis, the rushing upside. whether I love the Dolphins or not, it didn't really matter where he landed. He's going to be running. In fact, the bad line there, maybe he's running even more. It is a slight downgrade to Jalen Waddle. He's not known for his passing. He's known to be dynamic. Even though Tyreek Hill left, I just never been a big Waddle guy, and it very rarely hurts me. He always gets hurt. He's always playing less than I. There's always an excuse. I'm not a big Waddle guy. The other big signing day, Wan'Dale Robinson, he got like 70 mil. Sean Tucker goes a couple picks before us. Was really hoping he fell, but he does not. Oh, man. And then Katron Allen, the other rookie running back I was looking at. I'm going to just go. So there's 2 free agent running backs. I'm just going to pluck free agent backs at this point. Brian Robinson, one of them. Maybe he goes somewhere. Again, couple spots. He has touchdown upside. He returns back to the Niners and is the handcuff maybe to CMC. That's still valuable at this pick, so I still like him. And then Keaton Mitchell became a unrestricted free agent. And you know me, I've always loved the speed there. I always have believed in the player. So I'd like to pluck them, and then the rest of the draft will focus on wide receiver and just pluck some upside rookies. There's nobody else I really like there. And so, yeah, we'll go Keaton Mitchell. I will say truth before we wrap up the rest of the free agency too. You can probably see why I don't love. Like I like Tucker Kraft too as much as I do for the team, but like there's still David Njoku who's could go to the Eagles. They're saying Terrence Ferguson, our boy, with Stafford. Tight end's the position that like, unlike running back and receiver where we're just like throwing darts and Hail Marys. There's guys that I am very confident are going to produce at the tight end.
So I definitely see where you're coming from on that. That's why I did comment. Obviously, this is a whole different area. I did comment that 2 tight ends went in the second round, which I thought was a huge reach for both of them.
Yes, yeah. Trey McBride, perhaps.
I love Trey McBride. He's my favorite. In a best ball draft, I would not be gunning second round. I certainly
it's
wouldn't.
Tough. I agree. It's the opportunity cost. And even in round 8, as much as I love Tucker Kraft, it's a little bit of opportunity cost. We got Travis Kelce. I would have been fine with Travis Kelce as my first tight end. Eli Stowers is the next one, a couple, upside rookie guy, and then David Njoku. And boom, you have 3 tight ends that I'm very intrigued by.
I'd have been happier with Kelce than Strange.
Yes, I exactly. We didn't need Strange at all. That was the worst pick by a mile. J.K. Dobbins would have made me feel that much better about this team. But I still don't hate it. Other than that, Alec Pierce, huge winner, massive contract. He goes rocketing up because they also, in a corresponding move, trade away Michael Pittman, kind of committing. I mean, you don't commit that type of money to Alec Pierce without thinking that he is truly a number 1 wide receiver. And I buy it. I really do think he's got that type of game to him, not just a field stretcher, not just an incredible run blocker, but can do the whole route tree, an X that can win. So I really like Alec Pierce, especially the commitment they make to him. With Michael Pittman gone, Tyler Warren and even Josh Downs get a bump up. I like Warren even more, but both those guys, middle of the field presences that were a bit redundant to Michael Pittman. So that's a big win for those pass catchers. We mentioned Wan'Dale Robinson also getting like a $70 million contract. Insane. He ends up going right back with Brian Daboll, who force-fed him targets with the Giants, whether he deserved them or not. Daboll clearly wanted him back, the offensive coordinator there. I do think it's a big hit to Chimere Dike, who I love the player, can play outside, but 63% of his snaps were out of the slot last year, and a lot of his production came from when he was lined up in the slot, and that's where Wan'Dale's going to be. So can Chimere win outside? Probably. Have we seen it at the NFL? Not nearly as much as when he was up in the slot. Still not a horrific pick where he goes. I still like DK, Chimere Dike, but definitely a hit. Definitely not. There's the upside if they didn't make any major splashes that he could have been their number 1. We talk about Genty with Linderbaum, big winner. Alvin Kamara. The one other big one we haven't hit on, I think, is Travis Etienne going to the Saints. I consider him a loser himself in the sense of
I agree.
What I didn't love the player, and I don't love the Saints landing spot because Kamara probably is still. We're up. I'm gonna go. Zachariah Branch, definitely some upside here. And Jacoby Lane. So this is where I do like to start plucking rookie wide receivers. I love
to go all rookies almost for the rest of
this is, I think, late draft. If it's not tight ends, rookie receivers are the Hail Marys. So I like them. And I also do really like, I like Jacoby Lane, another rookie, but I like Kyle Williams for the Pats, who haven't made a move at wide receiver yet, other than release Diggs.
You have to think they will, though.
They will. Somebody will be added. There's not a doubt in my mind. But if it's not a BTJ and if it's not an AJ Brown, if it's just through the draft, Kyle Williams, some of his flashes last year were very real to me. So I kind of want to pluck him. That will get us to 6 running backs, 6 receivers, 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends. So I'm going to go Kyle Williams, just a Pats fan in me, but I really do like him. And I think the path is wide open. I don't think maybe you release Stephon Diggs because some bad news is coming, but you also have to have some confidence in Kyle Williams to make that move, in my opinion.
Well, I'll be right back before our next pick.
All right, so I'll wrap up the winners and losers conversation.
Go ahead.
So Travis Etienne, again, I think takes a little bit of a stock down. I liked him better with, of course, the Jags, Liam Cohen. But I do also still like Kellen Moore, who does scheme a ton of valuable production to his running backs as well. That's why Bashal Tutin was a big up, though, because he's been removed. Devin Neal, obviously, toast at this point. Alvin Kamara does not help. We'll probably still catch some passes, and that's where it's like that. Etienne, I just don't love it. Tyler Allgeier, we kind of mentioned, too, goes to the Cardinals. Stock up in the sense that you're not a number 2 anymore. You should be the number 1 there. But Connor, if he's healthy, we have him on our team. He nibbles. He's definitely going to eat some cheese and take touchdowns. As good as Allgeier is there, that might just be you're trying to create this huge physical 1-2 punch type of thing. Allgeier should lead this backfield, no doubt about it. But I think James Conner has the ability to be a much bigger thorn than some people recognize. So I don't love the spot for Allgeier. There was definitely better, in my opinion, for him. But with him gone, Bijan Robinson, now the argument for him over Gibbs is even tougher. Who's going to get added for the Lions? Nobody yet. That's nice. Connor won't be going there. He restructured his contract. That's big for Jahmyr Gibbs. So I still have Gibbs by a hair. We'll see what they do this offseason. But it's a tougher now that Tyler Allgeier is gone. So Bijan's a big winner. And then we got to talk about Jaylen Warren going up big because Kenny Gainwell, maybe the last one we haven't talked about, he goes to the Bucs. Definitely a little bit of a stock down for Bucky Irving. It will cap his receiving ceiling. We talked about it last week. I think Gainwell was top 2, if not 3, in receptions among backs. So that does hurt Bucky a little bit. You knew they were going to add somebody, but $7 million a year is no joke to Kenny Gainwell. I do like the fit there as well. Zach Robinson, pretty creative with his running backs. You saw Bijan rack up the 3rd most targets in the league last year. Gainwell's no Bijan, no doubt about it, but he's definitely a threat. So I like that. But in his absence, Jaylen Warren, we mentioned him in that round 6, certainly a big winner. And then one other backfield I'll shout out is the Commanders. They haven't made a move yet, so maybe Ja'Cory Krosky merits a winner, but there's still the Jeremiah Love bomb to drop, and they are in a prime position to potentially land him. So, I'm not going to call him free and safe yet. All right, so I'm going to go with Ted Hurst. Love the name. Rookie upside, big speedster. Ted Hurst. Reminds me of Fred Durst. And I just
reminded me of Robert Durst, that guy on the HBO thing
the Jinx.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh man, that was an interesting show.
Combination of Fred Durst or Fred, what the heck? Fred, what's his name? Durst?
Ted Hurst is the player. Fred
combination
Durst,
of Fred Durst and Robert Durst. I guess neither one of them's actually named Hurst. But they were.
Do you know who Fred Durst is?
Yeah, the Limp Bizkit guy.
Yeah.
Come on, man. How old do you think I am?
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, I know who Fred Durst is. I'm not a fan. I mean, I don't think he's awesome or anything.
I'm gonna just pluck
Fred Durst.
We already got Fred Durst, but I'm gonna take George Haloney. He's a Seahawks backup running back, but Walker's gone. Charbonnet had that late season injury. They'll sign somebody, they'll draft somebody, but they already have had some glowing comments about how they really trust George the Haloney, Havarti Cheese. I don't know how you say the guy's name, but Fred Durst and George Baloney are our last 2 picks. And but he can catch the ball. He is if the team trusts him, the Seahawks is one of there's a couple of value holes still remaining here. The Chiefs were filled. The Cowboys were filled in terms of backfields. Commanders backfield, huge value hole. Seahawks backfield, huge value hole. And if somebody's going to get out of the Jags, huge value hole. So there's still some dominoes to fall here, truth. But for right now, George Haloney could be making could be seeing a decent workload if they just draft like a 4th-round rookie. It's kind of like, all right, we're just waiting until Charbonnet gets back. And Zach Charbonnet is a big winner as well. was the last one I wanted to mention. The only other thing we didn't talk about from a fantasy perspective is DJ Moore to the Bills. What is that?
We said he was a rocket ship emoji.
Yes, I know. I kind of referenced it. I talked about Burden being a big up, Loveland being a big up, but and of course Adunze also should go up. Josh Allen should go up. Then Shakir, Kincaid, Palmer, the Bills guys have to go down. But how much do you like or trust DJ Moore, who's very up or down through his career, but never he's never really truly put it all together, it doesn't seem.
Yeah, I mean, he's never been like one of the top guys. He's always been one of those people that everybody acts like he's about to be one of those top guys, and it never really quite pans out. Like, he's had good years. Like, he's a productive guy. I view it as certainly a move up for him. If he ended up not being awesome, it's not like it would shock me, because I feel like he's been a little bit of a letdown over the course of his career. But I mean, you go into Josh Allen, come on, man. Like, this is your chance. Put up or shut up.
Absolutely. And he played with Joe Brady before too.
Right.
In Carolina. I believe he had like his career high yards per reception with him is around 1,200 yards. I mean, that was with Teddy Bridgewater. So, you got to think there's some upside. It's just a matter of like, is this the move that lets the Bills unlock Allen? Because Brady's been calling the shots. And of course, Allen still is the quarterback one in fantasy every year because he runs for like 17 touchdowns a season. And Brady does that like no other. It's great, the amount of volume he schemes for Allen at the goal line. Love that. But he also seems to keep Allen in a cage unless they're down by 2 scores. Then Allen goes berserk and has 50 fantasy points. And it's like, couldn't we just do that every week? Can't we just like let him go berserk from the start? And maybe DJ Moore is the key that unlocks that. Maybe they needed to get rid of Sean McDermott and Brady can be himself. I think there's a lot of upside to Josh Allen. Bold
a lot of upside to Josh Allen. Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm going
he is a quarterback with a little upside.
As soon as I said it, I was like, Truth's going to kick me in the nuts for that one.
Well, I've been waiting.
Fantasy analyst goes on a huge hot take limb that Josh Allen has some upside.
Like, who I like? This Jahmyr Gibbs guy.
Bijan Robinson, guys, under the radar.
Upside. Sneaky upside.
But what I should have perhaps is the price upside in terms of going late round 3 right now, 33 overall here. I mean, we could be talking about the guy that breaks fantasy if they just let him sling the thing over. If this acquisition, less for DJ Moore, more for just a philosophical change for Josh Allen and his offense, he could be going. He should be. It's one of those things we could look back and be like, we should have been taking Josh Allen in round 2, round 1 even. I feel like every year when there's like the underdog does like the graveyard draft, they call it, and it's like mid-season and they do like the season's starting fresh. Josh Allen always ends up going top 12. And it's now he's got his best cast, maybe whether it's Joe Brady getting the keys fully and something was holding him back, what have you. I think this price, Josh Allen has some upside is what I'm getting.
Says 8 catches, 230, 3 touchdowns versus the Commanders. Good. Yeah, it's good.
That was that Thursday night football game. Of course, I remember that game. Like,
very good,
especially when we're talking about best ball MKE. And good to see you. I know you sometimes comment on my stuff. Glad you're tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Especially when we talk about best ball. Yes, like we know there's a true 50-point weekly upside. We've seen it with Justin Fields throwing him the ball. Of course. Right. It's been a while though. That was how many years ago, MKE, and I don't think it's because of a huge drop off in talent necessarily, but I just think everybody's always talked about how good DJ Moore is, and he just never gets the right situation, and he's just good but not great as a result. And this will be the true put up or shut up. Like you're Josh Allen.
But good is, he's saying good. Whereas good is the baseline. We all agree he's good, like very good. I'm a little bit skeptical that he's going to be this huge game changer for the Bills, but who knows? I would like to be wrong about that, honestly.
Yeah. And either way, his ADP is going to continue to rocket up. He was at 95. He was one of those guys that like, damn, wish I had more when he was at that price. 67 is where it's at right now, but I think he's going to settle in. I have him ranked like 40, 45. So I certainly love the guy. Like I have him not too far after Devontae Adams, who I have Devontae Adams top 20. I'm always going to go Devontae Adams over him in the 40s, but round 5, if he's lingering, I love it. He was not there. I looked when we went Evans. I looked for DJ Moore. He was long gone. Let's find out where he ended up going tonight. DJ Moore. Or no, he was there when we. Oh man, I thought he was gone when I searched him. So we could have gone him over Evans.
When we picked two,
we picked Mike Evans and Burrow, which I don't. Maybe more over Evans.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a good litmus test. Certainly
you
over.
You were so enticed by this 49ers move.
Like, I'll tell you this, I would have 100% gone him over Tate, over Waddle, I like Watson, but still over Watson, over Lemon, over Odunze. McLaurin, no, I'd go McLaurin over him, but like, that's a full round ahead of so he's somebody, if he's going at 65, that's somebody I need to start stuffing.
I guess we do like him quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, I would have gone him over Evans. So yeah, why don't we review the team? And then I know you were asking about best pictures. We can
got time. It's a football podcast. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, I do want to wrap up. I like talking about something non-football at the end, and people want to go. Fine, totally understood. But if you enjoy listening to us talk about this stuff, you might enjoy our rant on there. So we went running back, Cook, Walker. I know we had paused to think Genty versus Walker. Gun to my head, I probably do go Genty there. Truth, all she really wanted Walker, and I totally understand it. I haven't finished updating the rankings. That's going to be a tough one, Genty versus Walker for me. I'll tell you that right now. I think Genty also a big winner with Linderbaum. But Walker, of course, the biggest winner of free agency so far, landing with the Chiefs, if and when, once Mahomes is back. Insane. We then went receiver, Higgins, Adams, Evans. I do typically want to get another running back within this range, but Kyron's the guy I typically look to there. You know who would have been a nice one, Truth, is Javonte here at 39.
Yeah, Javonte would have been a nice one.
I think Adams, Javonte, instead of Higgins, might be how I play that if I'm given the chance. We have a couple redo picks. What do you think of that? Higgins, Adams?
We're not on principle at this point, so here's how I feel about it. I am going to take Davante Adams if he's available in the 4th round, just on principle.
Yes.
Even though it was just a couple picks earlier, I don't think I could have taken him in the 3rd there. I guess we could have gone Javonte Adams.
Yes, Javonte Adams.
Yeah.
We could have, and that actually sounds great. We should
because you said Adams, Javonte. You said
Javonte Williams and Adams.
No, I'm saying go Javonte, and that. No, I said Javonte Adams on purpose. I know you think that was a slip. But I said we could have taken Javonte and then or in the other order.
Yes, we could have gone Javonte round 3, Adams round 4.
That is the extremely succinct way of summing up what I just took several sentences to say.
Javonte Adams.
Yeah, right.
We could have gone Davante.
I wasn't trying to waste the listeners' time.
No, I know you weren't.
A little bit, maybe.
And I mean, I don't know though, because then it's like, okay, if we didn't go T here, we probably aren't looking at Burrow, which might have ended up being okay because we did get Lawrence and Stafford.
We got Lawrence and Stafford.
That's the whole the fantasy butterfly effect. Is you see, like
there really is such a butterfly effect in something like this. Well, what if I had gone one pick earlier in the 8th round, and then your whole life's different? You marry a supermodel, all that stuff.
Right. If I had picked Mike Evans, if DJ Moore instead of Mike Evans, I would have been married to a supermodel.
I wouldn't be in this dead end job right now.
Exactly. But so you do think about that though. If let's say we did go Javonte and then Davante, we could have then gone Evans, DJ Moore and had Davante, Evans, DJ Moore. I still like that.
That's pretty sexy, but I don't know, man.
On a given week, that has just as like T, of course, I do like more, but like, I mean, if you tell me we have our running back 3 is Javonte instead of like James fucking Conner, that was horrific.
How much more do you like T than Davante Adams, though? Honestly,
I like Davante more. I have Davante.
I do too.
I would rather have Davante. So
would I.
So we're both in agreement. Davante's not changing. It came down to Javonte versus T in our revisionist draft here. Right. I think in a perfect draft, analyzing this board, it would have been Cook, Walker, Javonte, Adams, Evans, DJ Moore, because now we're not looking at Burrow because we don't have T. Higgins. And then Trevor Lawrence, Kraft, I'm now still cool with. Godwin as our 4th receiver still. I love our receivers now. Still getting a great value on Stafford. And Brenton Strange, of course, was disgusting.
Yeah, we're never going to live that one down.
No, he's just going to stare at us and laugh at us for the rest of his career. This mug, Brenton Strange, yay. Hate that pick.
You're gonna sit there like, getting intimate one night, and you just all of a sudden you can't get it up because all you just like envisioning Green just sitting in the corner behind a potted plant watching you, Blake Bortles style. He's just you can't stop thinking about him. He's lurking. You're like fiddling with your rearview mirror, and you like see him in the back seat. He's not really there, but like you're just haunted.
I'm just picturing going to bed after like a nice romantic movie.
I know you're like, all right, you ready to seal the deal, sweetie? And then you just like, just for a second, you look up and he's just kind of in the corner. Like, what's wrong? Nothing.
Where would you see him though? Like,
thought I saw Brent Strange.
Did you picture it more like you like look like your significant other gets up to get undress whatever it is, but you look in the mirror and like he's looking at you? Is that kind of how it plays out, or is
that's how I pictured? That's how I pictured like the rear view mirror thing.
Yeah. Is it just mirrors where he pops up?
Mirrors primarily, but also like when you're in bed with your wife and you like look in the corner, he's like maybe standing there with a drink in his hand, just kind of smirking at you.
Just like in the corner, lights a cigarette.
Right. And then you're just like, you point and then he's not there anymore. But like the cigarette butts on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. It's still burning too. Like it's still slightly lit.
Right. I guess it was all a dream, and then you pick it up and you're just like, or what? Right. Exactly.
And you know what's so painful?
Feel free to use this in your next script, by the way.
I 100%. You got to text me that so I use it. I'm already picturing it. Brenton Strange just popping up in the screenplay. What hurts is we didn't have the shot at Kittle, but he did go only 2 picks ahead of Strange. Like if we had done Kittle,
really,
no brainer. But
wow.
Yeah, so that's obviously we could have redone that whole running back, Cook, Walker, Javonte, gotten that stable early because it does. I mean, once you get to, I don't mind Swift as my third. Scatterbo, I would have been happy with. I think Tootin and Warren and even Ramondre, I'd be okay with as my third. But then it's like it's just drop off. And like when we went, what's his name? Kraft. It was like the top ranked running back was Monangai, and I like Monangai fine, but like I don't love it. And so there is I
like Monangai fine, but I don't.
I think I kind of want to make a stance. Like all my drafts, I'm really going to try to have 3 running backs through 5 rounds. Like there is a
I think we left some meat on the bone here. Even though I like a lot of aspects of our draft. I liked our first draft better.
If we 100% like the first draft better. This one I like, don't love. Had we gone Cook, Walker, Javonte, Devontae, Evans, DJ Moore, and then pretty much the rest of the draft, other than Brenton Strange and James Conner.
Exactly. Other than that, I like that.
Like the rest of the draft, I have no problem with stacking upside receivers late. Branch, Williams, Hurst. I love Kelsey's price. I don't know how he's still going late now that we know he's back. That's retirement Kelsey risk price. He was the tight end 3 last year, truth.
I'm aware. It's insane. It doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense doubly for me because you would think past performance, which obviously has been massive. He was the tight end 3 last year. And like his profile is so high, you would think there's just a bunch of idiots that would pick him early just because they don't know anything about anything. But instead, he's somehow resisting all of those things and is going like at the end of the draft. I don't understand it. It really doesn't make any sense to me.
It's the classic like unsexy upside, which is what I'm starting to realize my earlier years in best ball. Not that I'm guaranteed to be better any given year, but I would always go, you do want to get some of that rookie unmysterious, like the mystery box upside, the Family Guy clip. It could be a boat. Like, of course you like the untouched. You don't know what it could be. The mystery is so fun. But like, I can also have Travis Kelce, this rookie tight end, could be the number 3 tight end in fantasy, or I could just take the number 3 tight end in fantasy, who probably, let's be real, if he's going to come back, he's a vain guy. He's not going to come back and like look like shit. You know what I mean?
I actually think that if he had been better, although I know you said he was a tight end 3 last year, so it's not like he was awful fantasy wise by any means. I honestly think if he had like gone out with a serious bang last year, he might have walked away. I'm agreeing with your point, and I'm giving some context for it, which is like, I think that he does care about legacy. He is a vain guy, and I think he wants to go out on a high note. whether that's a Super Bowl or a great
Yes.
year or both. I think that's the only reason he's still around.
Yes, which makes him an even better pick.
It makes him 100% even better value. I agree.
Yes, so I love the Kelsey pick. So it's just strange, a very strange pick. That's where we don't have to be smart. That's where we shouldn't have been smart. We should not have been smart. In the locker room,
you have to think at this point, especially as much as we've talked about this, like Strange is going to be really ostracized in the locker room.
He's getting bullied.
Yeah, they're gonna. We probably should have reeled it in a little bit because I'm actually a little worried about how he's going to be treated now.
We haven't set a good example for our team, but
no one's going to want to play for us in the future.
Can't you just see?
Did you see how they treated Brenton Strange? God, they were
the owner report. You know how they do like the owner report cards at the end of the year. The owners allowed Tucker Kraft to give Brenton Strange a swirly right in front of them. They actually laughed while it happened.
And then they booked them twin beds at the Econo Lodge.
Exactly. And of all her team, it is Tucker Kraft giving the swirly, right? Like, it could be Ken Walker doing the swirly.
I was thinking Ken Walker. Ken Walker's riding high right now because he just won the Super Bowl. So his stock, whether we picked him an appropriate spot or not, like I do think that he's bringing like some real nutcracker energy into the locker room right now.
Yes.
Can he keep riding it? I don't know, but it's there.
Yeah, he has to stay healthy. That's the big thing with him. But absolute nutcracker potential. Super Bowl MVP becomes a free agent. Like that does not happen. There was a tweet about it. I do not remember what it was, but it's like the second or third time in NFL history that they didn't sign back. We do have a few great comments.
Was one of them Larry Brown when he got the MVP of the Super Bowl for the Cowboys against the Steelers just because they threw two balls. They just threw two balls directly at him. He just didn't even have to move. And then someone was immediately just like, well, we're signing him. I think it was the Raiders, maybe.
There you go. That's before my time, truth. I won't lie. And I'm old, but
yeah. You think
that's
you're
real old.
Hold my beer.
Yeah. So MK commented 3. I forget what that's for, or I'm not sure. But is Evans going to die? That's what we bring up with the substation. Does the hamstring just fall off the bone? How much do you buy the substation? I don't think it's a nothing. I don't
think it's a nothing. But I told you before we talked about this. I'm not overly concerned. Maybe I should be. Maybe I'm being naive.
But it is. Is it enough for me to in the future go DJ Moore over Evans? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, go DJ looking Moore. Back on it, I wish we had.
I really wish we had them both, and we didn't have the Burrow T stack, which of course, like that's about as good of a stack if you don't have Burrow Chase.
Stack, but I mean, looking back on it, I wish we hadn't even taken T where we did. So again, butterfly effect.
It would have been Javonte. Yeah, we talked about the fantasy butterfly effect. I like that. I'm gonna text you that because I kind of want to
we probably need to copyright that immediately.
Yeah, fantasy butterfly effect.
And none of you 798 people watching better steal it.
Yeah. the next award-winning screenplay, the fantasy butterfly.
I know. And then they just cut to us in the audience just looking really angry. No, they cut to us and it's like you and me and our wives, and then just between the two couples is Brenton Strange.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're just kind of tepidly clapping, like
he's clapping louder than anybody.
He's way more enthusiastic than us or our wives.
Yeah, exactly.
Right after he just like, who's this guy again? Oh, that's Brenton Strange, honey.
That's my buddy Brenton. Yeah, I took him in round 12 when I've never gotten over it since.
I lost us $200,000 that
day. He's clapping very loud. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's good company, but he's a lousy football player.
Lousy football player, loud clapper. I don't love it.
Could have had him in like round 19 probably.
Probably could have had him in round 19, but we had to stack him and Trevor Lawrence.
Anyway, I mean, you asked who he was, so
yes. So
my wife would have stopped listening to that explanation like 3% of the way in.
Yeah, that's generous. So do you want to? I know we're coming up on an hour. Do you want to just quickly chat the best pictures you've seen?
I got like 5 to 10 minutes. Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's chat real quick on that. The awards, I believe, are Sunday, right?
It's Sunday or Monday, something like that. But it's we're not going to be broadcasting again before they come on.
Yeah. So again, we're gonna try to keep doing this Mondays at 7 p.m. Everyone out there, I did say we're a little late today. Daylight savings. I have an 11-month, almost a year old.
That's crazy that your kid's like a year old.
I know it's been the fastest, best year of my life. Like, it's been incredible.
Yeah, get used to that.
I know everybody says it, and I already know. Like, I'm trying to strap in because everyone says it.
Everybody says it, and it's easy. Like, yeah, I'm sure that's true. And then it's such a cliche to be like, no, you won't get it until you actually have a kid, and it's so true.
So true. You every day something's new and exciting, but you're missing like the other form, and then it's just stacks and stacks and stacks. But it's been the best. She's so good. Yeah. So we're loving that. But all to say is she's daylight savings time has a little thrown off. So I'm ideally saying 7, might be 7:15, 7. We'll play it by ear. It might just be a couple day things, and she'll find her groove because she had been sleeping really well. So fingers crossed. Daylight savings throws me off. I don't understand it. I don't know why we do it. But that we could go on that rant and not even talk about.
That's a whole nother show. That's like we need like an hour and a half on that.
Yeah, we'll table daylight savings time until next week. Tune in. If you don't want our fantasy takes, get our daylight saving hard hitting analysis.
So what was the best movie you saw this year that's nominated? We'll say.
Okay, so I'm happy you phrased it that way because I want to answer this in 2 ways.
Go.
The best one that was nominated, in my opinion, comes down to One Battle After Another. Loved it. And really, really enjoyed Begonia as well. Those were my top 2. And I know that might be a little controversial. I have not seen, for the record, Hamnet. I haven't seen
F1.
Marty Supreme, which I really want to see. And I haven't seen Frankenstein.
Marty Supreme's the one that I feel is missing from my portfolio to be able to comment. I really want to see it. I'm not going to like spend $20 to watch it on TV.
Exactly.
I think it's still kicking around the theaters right now. I will definitely see it. I've heard all good things.
Yes.
That's the one nominee that I haven't seen where I'm like, I wish I had just so I could speak out a little more clearly about it. I mean, I don't know. So I've seen a lot of these movies, believe it or not. I've seen Sinners. I've seen One Battle After Another.
Oh, Sinners. Okay. I completely forgot. Okay. So Sinners has to be in the conversation.
I was a little surprised that Sinners wasn't at least in the conversation for you.
And
like,
before
if it's not
you go,
number one, I get it. But
it might be. I mean, it's in that conversation. And I do think before you keep going, because you said what's the best movie you've seen this year, and then you added that was nominated. And I just want to say, for the record, I think the best movie that I've seen this year was Weapons by a mile. Like I thought that was the most entertaining movie, most unique storytelling, kept me on edge the whole time. I love the denouement at the end, the way that I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't.
I could see you come. I could first of all, the old woman in Weapons is nominated for
exactly. Okay, so it was nominated. No, I knew that too. Aunt Gladys.
She's up, and she won one of the. There's like awards season, like the BAFTA awards and everything. She won at least one of these build-ups. I don't remember which one. And she did the Weapons run up across the stage.
Oh, did she? Yes, I did see that clip. Yes.
That was pretty cool.
She got the SAG, which is like kind of your people voting for you. So that's meant to, like, a lot of the actors say that's like the most, that of course you want the Oscar, and that's the number one. But a lot of them say SAG is just as, me and my Oscar friends, we all think that.
You want to win the Super Bowl, but failing that, the Grey Cup is pretty nice.
Sure. And she won that. And that's often a precursor. So we'll see how she does. But that was my favorite movie of the year. And I think
I really liked Weapons. I saw it with my daughter. I really enjoyed it. I'm not sure it was my favorite movie of the year. I did like it a lot. I could see you coming up with something like Weapons.
Yeah, I just thought it was,
I mean, one thing I liked about a lot of these movies. Well, you know what? Not one thing I liked about all these movies is, like, think about the movies that have been coming out in the last several years, and like these were like just about all original.
Yes,
like it was really refreshing to see. Like, yes. Some of them may have been based on books or something that I hadn't read, but to me they were all brand new stuff. And it's been a while since I've gotten a big rush of movies like that. where I
It's a
didn't
great
know.
crop. I really do. Like it kind of feels like this year's running backs where it's like it's rejuvenated. It's there's some real good heavy hitters. You can get some bell cows again. I thought there were some very good movies. I'm with you.
I loved. I had not seen Begonia last week. You told me to see it, and then I watched it this week. I thought it was really good.
I loved it. That's Hillary's top pick. If I'm not,
really,
I'll have to double check, but I think that's her pick.
It was really good. I won't spoil anything about it, but I enjoyed it wholeheartedly.
Yes.
I also then
what, can you explain what you enjoyed about it without spoiling it, or does it require you to go into the story to?
I found all. I mean, I don't know. I found all the characters to be like,
yes,
up until the end. Of course, I found all the characters to be oddly believable. Like it's like I've met people like this.
Yes.
And you're talking about extremes on the economic stratosphere kind of, and it's like, yes. Yeah, man, I know people that are just like this one, and I know people that are like, the two guys in it reminded me of like people where I'm from, like really rural Virginia.
What's so cool, and I'm going to try to explain this, I will not.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
I think on that premise alone, the disparity in the economics and them crashing together, the way that brings them together, that in its own self is a phenomenal movie that I honestly didn't even know it was going to be anything more than that. And so I loved it. I won't explain at all what directions it goes. And
I encourage you all to watch it. It's on Peacock.
But I thought like that just original like seed was phenomenal. And I had no idea how that would like where it got. And I'm happy it got where it got as well too. So like I just thought from the beginning to the end that probably, if it wasn't going to be weapons for me, I mean, I don't know. I loved one battle after another. What's your pick? Let's hear yours.
It's really hard. So my wife is totally in the bag for Sinners.
Okay.
Like to the point where it's like obnoxious. And so it's hard for me to like really say anything else. If I say anything, she just completely flames me and like sucks her teeth and rolls her eyes. And, and she I watched One Battle After Another with her, and I watched Sinners with her. And she loved them both. She loved One Battle After Another. It's only once then they got in the Oscar mix against each other. And now she's just like, I mean, it wasn't even really good. She was like, it was kind of a funny little movie. I was like, it wasn't funny. What are you talking about? It was like, which part was funny to you exactly? The overt racism, like the sexual assaults. What was the funny part exactly? It was a great movie, right? And then she kind of had to dial it back.
I will say one hilarious line from that movie, just to give her
funny stuff
some credit. There were some funny lines. The one that got me the most was when the officer was like, "Have you been drinking, sir?"
He says, a couple small beers.
A few small beers.
Of course, that's classic.
Love that line. Just a few small beers.
Yeah, they were small ones.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like those like little straight cans. They were like that.
Awesome comment.
I agree. I'm not going to argue with you on that. That was awesome. I thought DiCaprio. I know it's like you saying Josh Allen has upside. DiCaprio was great.
DiCaprio and Josh Allen are a great way to put it, because like DiCaprio may be varying degrees of good any given year, but it's always going to be the best, like one of the best.
No, he was excellent. He was
always going to be the top.
And Sean Penn was eating up the scenery.
Well, I was just going to say my favorite part of the whole movie was Sean Penn. Lockjaw, dude, unbelievable.
Sean Penn is such a listen. We've talked about nutcrackers for a long time in football. If we made a nutcracker like celebrity set, I know he's like probably pushing 70 and he's like 5'6" or something. That guy's in the nutcracker set. He could get any woman on the planet probably in like a week. I don't know why. Oh, dude, look at Sean Penn's past. Look at who this guy. He's. Some people just have like this charisma about him. If you're like in the room with him and you can't understand, you probably have like friends like this where you're like, he's not that good looking. He's not that smart. He's not that funny. And for some reason, women are just drawn to him.
Sean Penn. Wow, I did not know that.
Oh yeah, look at who Sean Penn's been with.
Okay, interesting. I did not know he had that type of resume.
But
in terms
he's in the nutcracker set.
Okay, good to know. I will dive in tonight. Right. But from a sheer performance, I really hope he wins Best Supporting Actor.
Me too.
That was one of those ones that like you genuinely will always remember. As much as I love Leo's performance, like not that none of it was forgettable, but also like I do think Sean Penn was like just that much more of a presence, whatever the word is you want. Like it's one of those things that I will never forget that type of performance.
Sean Penn, already a 2-time Oscar winner also.
Yeah, and deserves this one for sure. Similar to Amy Madigan and Aunt Gladys, I thought she deserves that.
I hope I'm
if you were picking best picker though, you all you did was kind of hide behind my wife would have picked Sinners. What would you have picked?
I really love One Battle After Another. I thought it was just fantastic.
Is your top three?
Honestly, it would be hard for me to choose between.
So is your top
I don't
three?
think I would have the guts to pick Begonia, even though like it's amazing. Also, just as an FYI, I saw Hamnet and with my wife, which by the way, I got tons of husband points for. Like,
okay,
yeah, in a marriage, you're going to learn how valuable those points are.
I need some.
Right. It was great, well acted, loved it. I'll never watch it again.
Yeah. Okay. And that won the Golden Globe, I think, right?
For Did it really? Picture? I didn't know that.
Best drama, I think it did win. And then I think One Battle After Another won for comedy.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great, but it's like one of those things. It's not going to leave you like feeling great.
Well, that's kind of. I feel the same way about Train Dreams, which I thought was really
good. Which I haven't seen yet.
Oh, you didn't end up seeing Train Dreams yet? Okay.
No, but I did. I knocked 2 Oscar movies off my list.
You did. I didn't do my homework. I didn't see Frankenstein. I haven't done Hamnet.
No, Frankenstein's really good too. There's no way it wins, but I mean, it's really good.
I love Guillermo del Toro too, so I'm very excited to see that.
Oscar Isaacs is really good. He's in it.
Yeah, that's gonna be incredible. So I am excited to catch up in that sense. So I don't know. So your ultimate choice, do you put Begonia in the same tier at least as Sinners and?
So as far as enjoyment, yes. I don't believe it's going to win Best Picture.
Well, again, we're not predicting who wins or not. I'm saying who.
I think honestly, I enjoyed it every bit as much as those 2 movies.
Yeah,
it was more. I feel like I got more like dopamine hits out of that movie than the other ones.
And you know what? That's the exact argument that I have for Weapons. I thought that was a dopamine like rush after rush after rush.
I mean, it's a compelling case. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of being a wuss and riding the fence here.
You are. You have to pick one.
My wife's going to be really mad if I don't say Sinners.
So that's what your choice is going to be. What my wife's going to be mad at me, so I'm going to pick. Come on, what do you pick? If it's Sinners, your pick. Sinners,
I think I'll. Gosh. I'm going to say Sinners, not just because of my wife.
You're a little bitch.
I mean, it was in the conversation anyway.
No, it is. It's that Sinners was incredible. Michael B. Jordan was amazing. I hope he gets it for lead. Just what he did.
He will. I think he will.
And he deserves it. Every bit of it. What he pulled off was insane. I keep switching up the camera view, by the way. I don't know why.
All right, I like it. It makes it seem like there's someone working for us. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like there's some production team behind the scenes killing it for us. Love that. Like we just went on like a 20-minute Oscar rant.
No, that was good. We should get pictures. I have to roll. It has been awesome doing this with you, and we'll do it again next week, right?
Yeah, well, we'll certainly get another draft in next Monday, right around 7, pending bedtime. And then I think we can plan on maybe a follow-up to what won, what we thought, got snubbed. I'll try to watch a couple others too. I'll, watch Train Dreams, very interesting one too.
Okay.
And then I'll get Frankenstein in and ideally Hamnet as well. So we can kind of finish like we are right now with that as our off-topic thing. But, we'll draft and there'll be some sort of topic, probably more free agency fallout. We'll see. We'll see what the NFL brings us, but I'll plan on like free agency fallout part 2 type of thing.
Sounds
sweet.
Good.
All righty, man. Well, very good. Good team, not our best team.
Not our
Butterfly
best team.
Effect. The team that we could have done would have been sick.
Would have been great. Oh, it would have been excellent.
I wish we had that one going in there. Last week, I didn't feel that at all. I felt like every move we made was great.
No, and that's why none of this matters because we're going to be.
Yes, maybe we're drafting a little loose because we know we already have $200K. That's true. That's money. All righty, dude.
See you, bud.
Good stuff. I'll answer the RJ Harvey question and then I'll sign off too. Later, man. So Josh, I would say if you're still watching after all that Oscar talk amidst your very reasonable fantasy question, I have to consider it a win. I mean, it's obviously I can't be like, yeah, this is good for his value. Another guy joined it, whereas he could have been the clear lead, but we knew somebody was going to be joining. And better the beast we know than the beast we don't, whether it ended up being Allgeier, David Montgomery. I do think Dobbins is great. I had Dobbins last year as like a 10th round guy that when he was in there, sturdy running back too. I really wish I'll pull up the draft board. The biggest mistake we talked about in our draft was not taking Dobbins, where we took Brenton Strange, our single worst pick by a mile. We don't even like Brenton Strange. We stacked him with Lawrence, great. But, J.K. Dobbins there, this guy punished us for passing him up. Great value, 131. Anywhere in this 120 to 130. I think he's going to have the same role and be similarly valuable. Maybe a slightly dialed back version of that, because I do think RJ Harvey flashed some things last year, but also had some negatives, under 4 yards a pop. Very intriguing and efficient as a receiver. Can he take the next step as a rusher? It is tough when you're an older prospect like he is. I know probably you've heard the same thing about him a million times, but if you're going to go with an older guy, you hope he doesn't have that on-ramp that takes forever to get there. Alvin Kamara, for example, when he came in, a little bit older, came in with far less draft capital, and he eventually just kind of commanded that backfield. And it was still a split. Our Harvey's not Kamara. I think if we would have seen, there might be a little bit of untapped here, but I think it's largely what we thought he was last year, where he's going around 6, and he kind of paid it off because Dobbins has a significant injury history. But I guess I wish that when Dobbins went down, he had the potential to be the guy that down stretch runs. It's if you didn't have RJ Harvey, you probably weren't winning, because to be able to potentially monopolize a Sean Payton backfield, which uses its backs to great level. And let me just pull it up. What did I'm going to pull up here, share this tab instead. If you listen to the podcast, I'll just kind of describe what I'm doing. The podcast is on Spotify, Apple, wherever you guys listen. But if you're on YouTube, or I think I know a lot of you guys tune in from Twitter, which I greatly appreciate it. Well, let's call for a thumbs up wherever you're at. So I'm pulling up here, though, for the audio listeners, RJ Harvey, because I do want to look at when Dobbins went down. I sit here saying he didn't go berserk, but he went 21, 22, 12 and a half, 22, 18, 4.3. That is a very, very good finish. I don't know exactly when he went down, but I'm not even showing it. Hold on. Here's the RotoViz. Love these guys. Phenomenal stuff. This is their NFL Stat Explorer tool. And I love how they just show off game logs here. It's a 21.2, 22, 12 and a half, 22.1, 18.6. I imagine, I don't know right off the top of my dome if that's when he went down. I think it was, though, something against Kansas City where Dobbins got hurt. And then there was the bye week. Is he coming back? And then it was done for the year. Something like that happened. So he did. I was sitting here I wish he did more. I mean, 4 out of his 6 games were top 12 running back without him in there. Of course, now he's there. But the whole thing is, when does he go down? So I would take this running back in round 5, 6 again. So, and you say it right here, Josh. So, I kind of completely forgot that he went this ballistic down the stretch, and this is good reminder. Good job. Remember, this is also baked best ball. Had a few edibles. So the memory deceives me. And I was a big Harvey guy last year, so I should have recognized that he was doing a lot better by the end. But I think it was because of my most important league, I had Dobbins, and I remember, let's look at what Dobbins was doing before. He was certainly more valuable than Harvey till the injury happened. Far less of the weekly, much flatter upside, but much more 14, 15, 15, 11, 15. That's a nice rock solid flex, reliable RB2 that you got in round 10 that I think will also be very similar. I don't see much of a reason to treat anything different this year unless they draft something that could potentially muddy it up even further. I'm expecting very much the same from Dobbins and Harvey, and I think both their prices are very reasonable for that. And I would say Harvey, if I had to call him a winner or a loser and not just be he's kind of neutral, it's a winner because it could have been much, much worse. There was going to be a move. This is probably the lowest impact. So I think he's a winner, but I still think he doesn't. It's not a winner in the Walker sense where it's I'm taking this guy 2 rounds more now. It's now his price is fine, is how I would view that, if that makes sense. All righty. So good questions to wrap it up. And again, Next week, we will break down the actual Oscar winners. We just kind of talked about our favorites so far with limited repertoire. We haven't seen every single movie, but that will wrap up the show next week. We will do a draft with a fantasy topic from the jump right around 7 o'clock kickoff. Will be every Monday is the goal here. And you can follow me on Twitter if we have to reschedule or anything of that nature as well at Roto Street Wolf. My rankings are not updated yet. I just kind of wanted to do a draft, kind of feel out how I think about these landing spots. And my goal is tomorrow to have updated rankings. Perhaps if the timing works out, I'll get live and talk about where people went. At worst, it'll be tweeted out at some point tomorrow. My updated rankings that you can also find at rotostreetjournal.com, where we're also trying to expand into some baseball content. My boy, AJ, the best writer in the business, in my opinion, for fantasy baseball, coming out of retirement to test out some baseball content and see how it does this offseason. So if any of you do play fantasy baseball, definitely it's all content at Roto Street Journal is free. And I do, we don't pump out a ton of stuff because we try to make sure it's a truly quality writing, quality stuff. And I love, I don't play a ton of fantasy baseball on my stuff, but I let AJ run my teams and he ends up winning everything. It's kind of what I do with fantasy baseball because I want to keep running the site and I also want to be a father, and fantasy baseball is not great for either of those things. So I let AJ just win me money every year. You guys should do the same and check out his content at rotostreetjournal.com, pumping out baseball, the pitchers, the closers, also the best hitter values. Check out all of his content because he's been churning this last week or so, and it's phenomenal stuff. So check out that if you play fantasy baseball. My stuff is also for football. Will be up there as well as a couple other great writers as well with these updated rankings. You'll see a new ranking set called Free Agency probably tomorrow is my guess. And other than that, every Monday we'll be live doing this. And then when summer hits, we'll have a much more beefy schedule. But still love getting live. Still love seeing you guys. And very happy to see, almost 900 of you here, even though we rambled about a bunch of non-football stuff at the same time. So that's very appreciated and just great stuff. So once again, rotostreetjournal.com, where you can find all my content, all the great writers. And on your way out, a thumbs up or heart button, wherever you're watching from. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Subscribe. And if you do like podcasts, we do have, it's called the Fantasy Fullback Dive, or you search Roto Street Journal, that should pop up as well, or Wolf of Roto Street, whatever, you'll find us if you do prefer podcasts. We put all right. In a world for fantasy sheep, enjoy the Oscars this week. Enjoy the rest of free agency. Exciting, exciting stuff. Hope you enjoy these winners and losers and overall drafting reactions. Until next time, later, guys.